Oh shit! Why are we oh shitting? Hey Shirk, how you doing? Hello, hello. Booyah! 400! Holy shit. So where's the test question mark? Chill, I went live 2 minutes ago. I've just updated the stream info. Relax. Chill. Get out. Can you hurry up? I know you're tired, you just gotten home from work, but like, hurry up! Fucking hell. Jesus. I am tired. Give me a second. Hey Kitty, how you doing? Hey Joe. You need to DDoS Reckless so you can take the lead. Oh, that'd be toxic. Which weapons? So, I want to muck around with the Onslaught because it keeps dropping, and it got buffed semi-recently. And I haven't used it since the buff. Now, I don't like the way it shoots. I don't expect it to be good, but I'm hoping it'll be usable. So I'm going to try Onslaught. Then I might investigate Lucky Clover again. I know I was using that briefly the other day. So those two are on the forefront. Tragically, neither of them are bossing weapons. Bossing in this game is quite awkward because the bosses have got quite a high amount of health compared to mobs. So you have like mobbing guns and bossing guns. So it really kind of just sucks. You can't really use mobbing guns to bossing, otherwise it's just really slow. Which is just a design fault with the game. Hey Soren, how you doing? Can't wait for the Roach build? No. Hi, new play here. I heard this game is shit. Cool. Even when I'm tired? Well, I was like, I could just rest, but then I didn't stream yesterday because working evening, and then I'm working evenings both tomorrow and Tuesday. So that's like a run, but there's 5 days between streams, which, you know, fucks you over on these online platforms. Jacob's... Okay, I don't have a Jacob's Part 1, so maybe I need to quickly... I didn't know I could roll Jacob, so maybe we should do that. Aeon's Dream. What does the Aeon's Dream like? What's the point of that gun? What's the point of it? That one's my highest damage. It's shock. Rangefinder, we can use Rangefinder. The obligatory Game of Thrones reference. Borderlands 2 had a Game of Thrones reference, like... Mad Lad? Mad Lad, to me, is just one of those guns that just feels... too far gone. Like, 3k DPS. That's just shit. It's not very strong. Okay, so Onslaught, you say Aegon's Dream with Torg, right? I think I only have one in my loadout. Shotgun, Altfire, and Bullet Buddy. Altfire is not unique to Mad Lad though, so like, what are you getting? Like, why not just use like a Buri with Shotgun, Altfire? Right, so I'm going to attempt to use a save editor here. This is gonna go poorly. My save file. This thing is so clunky. So I've got a Vlad SMG. Cheating, literally cheating. So we want Jacob's Ricochet. Hey, that's legitimate. That one worked immediately. Cheating for science. This is also my first attempt at like on-the-fly save editing. See how quick it is. Nowhere near as fast as it was in Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3, so easy. Cheating! Right, so the magazine for Torg. The Mag 1 Torg. Normal. Check legitimacy. Illegitimate underbarrel. Time to make illegal weapons. Make a Ripper slugger. Does gun handling buff projectile speed? Yeah, it's a weird quirk with this game. Where that happens, and it can break some weapons. Does Groundbreaker work with Mantra? I don't really know, actually, for that one. I mean, if you're asking if Mantra triggers Groundbreaker, the answer is no. Okay, I can't make a Torg Aegon's Dream. I can't figure out how to make this one legit. It's missing a visual part, and I cannot find it, so I won't be able to test a Torg Aegon's Dream, I'm afraid. You've got one? That makes it easy. Yeah, I selected those, like, but it was still complaining. Yeah, I selected both. It did not like it. Right, so we've got a lot of handling on this build, so that should help. Doesn't have an underbarrel, but that's still just really good. Bullet Hose's extra projectile chance. Yeah, we'll rock with that one. I mean, I could go Jacob's, bounce pass sequencer. That's got SMG damage on it. Is it a bug that high cal 3 doesn't work with sticky mags, or is it intentional? Who knows? I mean, high cal, it's quite picky with what projectiles it allows through, and it's probably just that sticky is just one of those it doesn't. So that's quite probably a conscious choice by a developer to not allow that one to pierce. For one reason or another. Right, my spec is standard gun. Yeah, okay. I'm going bleed instead of thingy. Yeah, that's fine. How you doing, dudes? I want an accelerator warpaint. You thought Zipper needed high cal 3 does not help. It's not explosive. It wouldn't do much for that weapon. Now, okay, so you mentioned Bullet Buddy Deluxe. And I was going to do a Bullet Buddy Deluxe build. However, there is a problem. They broke it. They didn't break Bullet Buddy Deluxe, but a skill you would typically pair with Bullet Buddy Deluxe is Fiesta, which you would use to maintain your action skill. But Fiesta is struggling on reprocs now. And once you hit dot cap, it can no longer reproc, so it just kind of dies, which is a big shame. Thank you very much, sir. Blue or green? It's blue. It's at the bottom of a blue. It basically, when you apply a status effect, It stops your action skill from, you know, using charges or duration. So it's really good for action skill uptime, which is more important for Bullet Buddy Deluxe, because Buddy Deluxe drains your action skill so quickly. It's just it's been a bit of a pain to keep, you know, triple bypassing caffeine. So you kind of want duration, and Fiesta is the skill for that. But as soon as you hit dot cap, it no longer procs. So it just kind of... It doesn't feel as good to use now. This has got a bit of mobbing damage, but the thing is so at a brewery at this stage. Once the kills are going, we get some projectile speed. Now, if we compare this with a brewery, I've got a better brewery on my other character. She. Immediately a lot less impressive to me. Rapid fire blood off SMGs will always remain fun versus bosses in Witchy Triggerfinger. How does it feel to have completed one life? I am the same human being as I was before. I don't know how to play the video game. What gun we shooting? Onslaught! So Onslaught, once spooled up, our DPS is brewery. And the thing is, it's got this 30% chance for the extra damage to go through. It does do more DPS, it's just the bullets are so... slow. Why do the bullets have to be so slow? Speed. Now that's with amp. We can try without amp as well. See how it's feeling. Yeah, even the Jacob's ricochets are slow, because the ricochet, the projectile speed. We didn't even get Aegon's Dream to drop. It's a Horus, I believe. Thank you, Fireworks. Very cool. Thanks, new shiny drop rates. Very cool. Yes. Fuck's sake. Right, so Brewery isn't good anymore? What? Brewery's fantastic. Did I misunderstand? I'm saying that the Brewery is just simply better than... the Brewery feels better than the Onslaught. The base chances now was always like that. It went from 0.1 to 0.3 to 0.9. So, both. Yeah, I'm just like... Maybe on Rafa with more bullet speed. But even... I've got Grave Sights here. Wow, a Lucian's flank. Well, the one thing with this gun, which is a really weird complaint. Elemental locked. You can't get it in kinetic. Because of the ammo saving. Try it with Super Soldier. Might help the initial spool up. That's not a crit knife. Leech Warpaint. Someday. That'll be meta. It is feeling very serviceable without amp though, which is nice. And while it doesn't feel as good as a Buri, the fact that it just has more potential DPS, you just play really close range with it. What is even happening? Where's my damage? Can't wait for you, VH10, where shiny drops are 2%. And the bullet kite's what turns you off? Yeah, so like, even just that quick swap back to the Buri, it was just so nice. Wow, that Dullahan, that's a very nice Dullahan roll. Spinny barrel. It's like the guns from BL1. COV enhancements? COV enhancements aren't very good. Nowhere near as good as the Vladoff or Ripper ones. Yeah, those don't compete. Duct tape does, but this gun does not live in overheat. Do we know what the percentage damage is on the Onslaught's bonus? 30% chance to deal extra damage. Is that 30% extra? 100% extra? I want to say 100. Which would mean, on average, that damage number is 30% larger. As is the mag size. So does online websites have the answer? Oh, 30% damage, according to Loot Lemon. 1 damage extra. May as well be. So 30%, it's probably on shot, same as high cal. Windows. I'm trying to load up my calculator, but it just won't. Yeah, apparently I'm not allowed to use a calculator. Why? Okay, just had to restart it, because apparently the calculator app can crash. Does that cause my game to crash? What's wrong with a calculator? Jesus! God forbid a man just want to do some maths. Thank you, Microsoft, for the AI-coded operating system. So, you want to use a calculator? You don't need any of this stuff open, do you? Obviously not. Just wanted to check the listed DPS of this thing. 4394. Well, actually, yeah, 4394. See, I want to say it works out better than a brewery, but it doesn't, because the brewery gets a 75% fire rate. So it still needs... I mean, this is elemental, so of course it's going to do a bit less. Can't make AI smart and make people dumber? I mean, that is... so that's how it feels. Obviously, this is a Jacob's pie. It can get much higher card DPS than this. It can go to 5.7, but a lot of that card DPS is down to reload speed and mag size, which, I mean, if you do like Bullet Buddy Deluxe or this or whatever, that isn't so much as an issue. So the DPS number is a bit misleading, but still, 600 damage, 17 fire rate. What's what the Bury does? Of course, the Bury's got the extra barrel. The issue here is that perk, Keep It Coming, isn't interesting. It's just a 30% chance for two of those numbers to be bigger. It's got an effectively 30% bigger mag size than what it says. So, instead of 40, it's now 50 something. And then, what an uninteresting special effect. Because it's a bullet hose, it's not like you get occasional money shots, it's just average out to a bit higher DPS than what it says. But you've got annoying speed of barrels. Yeah, I just don't see a purpose in this weapon over a Bury. Right, I was about to do a true run before my game crashed. Did I not push the button? At least it's keeping up. Thanks to Amp. Fine enough. A legendary shouldn't be fine enough when its competition is a purple version of the same gun. When the purple version of the same gun is the same but better, it's not fine enough at all. Come on! What is happening? You can't look at guns in a vacuum. Because in a vacuum, yeah, sure, it looks fine enough. But I could make a green SMG kill things at UVH6 and it look fine enough. Well, this gun doesn't give me a reason to use it over a Bury, when it's literally a legendary Bury. Instead, I just have funny bullets. Can I make Kaleidosplode work? No. You like the spinny bullets? If you enjoy spinny bullets, i.e. occasionally missing for no reason, despite aiming right at the enemy, then good for you! You're one of the few. Cricket. Cricket, cricket. No! You can't! You like bees? You see, bees I like. Can AC May roll Jacobs? Because that seems like quite a high DPS AC May. Wow, a shock Hellfire. Yes, it can. Oh, that's a shame. And Lucian's flank roll Torg impact? No. Brewery. No! You can't! Can't imagine Hellfire being very good at bossing. I can't, Data. I can't. I can't. Hellfire's really good at killing Rippers. The problem is there isn't much in this game that isn't. Now I'm gonna try that weapon on Hilo. Hellfire needs buff plus. Hope they bring back Nighthawking. Okay, Daedalus SMG. What even license parts could they do to butcher that weapon? It's never nighttime in this game. I say this a million times. It never feels like nighttime. Alright, let's take off amp. Elemental switch. It just comes inbuilt Mallow and Ellie switched. Okay, how to make the Nighthawking really cool. The time of day is affected by what mode you're in. Nighthawking 2. I mean, Nighthawking isn't in this game. We're just kind of saying how they would butcher it. How you doing, Quag? Thank you for the 76-month streak. Need a demo dog pets in come Halloween. Hey, maybe they can actually have a Halloween event that has content. Does time reset whenever you fast travel? I have no idea how time works in this game. But all I know is that I notice every single time it becomes nighttime because it is never nighttime. Alright, I'm going to start with Lucian's flank actually to create a baseline because I know Lucian's flank is good. Oh, Quag, since you're here. For Lucian's call, what they did to butcher it. Because, of course, you know, returning weapons have to be butchered in some kind of way. Now, this looks very reminiscent of the Lucian's call. Extra barrel for increased fire rate, Jacob's ricochet, critical hits refill up to 2 ammo to the gun's magazine. Awesome. But this is Borderlands 4, and we can't have interesting effects without internal cooldowns. The ammo refill has an internal cooldown. Sorry, what? Yeah, we can't have nice things. Internal cooldowns. You might notice my ammo goes down a lot faster than it maybe should do. It's my action skill that's maintaining it. Well, despite being the gun that refunds ammo, I am out of it. Heavy weapons are fun. Remember when Hellwalker was non-elemental? When is the DLC when they had a dev team that didn't hate BL3? No wonder the refilling feels ass. Yeah, it's got an internal cooldown. You know, the gun that has 20 fire rate. Yeah, Lucian's flank will like that. It's actually one of my favorite weapons to use on Harlow for both utility and damage. Like, as a confirmative reality gun, Lucian's flank is one of my favorite guns on Harlow. Just fantastic all around. Apart from the internal cooldown. But Harlow's got critical funding, which is... Is critical funding just Lucian's call? Wait, hang on. Yeah, okay, it is. Crits equal ammo back. Right, Aegon's Dream has the bonus fire rate, cool, so obviously parts dependent here. The listed DPS is lower because of mag size, that's fine. Symmetry sucks eggs. I don't understand the goal behind Symmetry. I mean, I kind of do. It's like a cool, like, hey, it's a charge weapon, but it shoots whilst it's charging. Cool, but nobody asked. This is how weak those shots are. Now, what would be cool is if those Symmetry shots applied a debuff. Like a proper debuff, not a soup debuff. If those Symmetry shots applied a debuff, so like if you hit the target with the primer shots, the big shot would then do more damage. But as it stands, the Symmetry just does less damage than both Rucker and Purples. Right, this is doing more damage per shot and less fire because of the Torg part. Now that's good, because that'll just make it less ammo hungry. We'd also want High Cal 3 for this. I don't have High Cal on shield. Maybe I do in the bank. Explosive weapons just gain a bonus with High Cal 3 because you can hit twice, so... Lucian's flank can't get that, this can. We'll try and utilize that advantage since it has it. High Cal, High Cal, High Cal. I have one. Excellent. Nice. High Cal 3. Do I have a spare crit knife in here? Surely I do. I won. I don't have a high cal grenade to feed into it yet. I mean, I've got the Scully, but I don't want to keep that. Symmetry's burst fire with a charge, it would be so nice. What would be the point? Outside, because fisheye exists. But what would separate it from fisheye? Aside from Nader Alpha and Technomantic, what other builds benefit from turtle shields? Nader Alpha benefits from turtle shields? How? To answer the question, thermal diffusion on Amon. It's a rocket punch augment where the damage, where your shield is transferred into damage on the rocket punch. And Gamma Ray Burst Harlow. Whenever you activate or retrigger an action skill, it takes a portion of your shield capacity and applies it to your next gunshot, similar to Shield Break Amp from Borderlands 3. So both of those benefit from very high shields as well. If an order charging feel bad? Depends on the gun. Because if you get enough fire rate parts, it's like fine. It's not even a thing. It's like BL3 Maliwan. And some guns it just kind of makes sense with. Like Lucky Clover feels right at home with Lucky Clover. You charge it up, you mag dump it in one shot because that's what charging does. You reload, you get the rockets, you charge it up, you fire your entire mag in one shot, you reload, you fire the rockets. It flows really well with the Lucky Clover. Best roll on a jet setter? I don't really know. Just get a jet setter. I haven't had enough to see the damage variants, but it's not like there's varying parts that roll on a jet setter. It's literally just damage numbers. So when you're farming the jet setter, keep the one with the biggest damage number, basically. My god, we're so fast. No Jacob's Ricochet on this. But High Cal 3 does mean we have bullet piercing. Holy ammo hungry. Goalkeeper feels pretty good. Goalkeeper does feel good. And like any Ripper Mag Order Assault Rifle, so long as it's got decent like base fire rate. That's like the important thing with charge up weapons, is getting that base fire rate high. To decrease the charge time. It's got the damage, but I don't understand the purpose of the weapon. Multi-element guns to me just have a lot less interest around them now that bonus elements exist. out of bullets. I'll wait for the Nebula Order assault rifle that can roll Ripper. You think they'll do another weapon balance pass and they'll make the Goalkeeper roll Ripper? Because lots of people, myself included, have asked to allow the Goalkeeper to roll Ripper. The more I think about it, the more I think that's probably not the best idea, but also it would be funny. You have a circle for multi-battle Vladoff, so you buy shows with the dream. Yeah, but Lucian's flank is right here. Lucian's flank. Lucian's flank. Although what's hilarious is this purple Ripper shotgun is now out DPSing them both. Makes sense, it's a shotgun, but... This gun has the advantage of both the previous guns. It has Torg and Jacobs. I think BL4 is going to get better with time. Yes, but the issue we are having right now is how long will that take? Right now it sucks. In a couple of years it'll be fine, but also, like, why should it take a couple of years? Trying to 100% the game, you need the Vendor the Line quest. If you don't have it, surely that means you've done it, though. Why do you need it again? Unless you mean, like, for an achievement. If you mean for an achievement, you can create a level 30 character and teleport right to it. But I'm trying to think of something in the in-game tracker that needs it again. But if you've done it, it should just be done. It's unmissable, but what's unmissable? Is there, like, an echo in there that you need, or a game achievement? Because if it's a game achievement, you can just go right to it on a new character from level 30. Achievement? Well, yeah, okay, so you create a new level character and you teleport to the quest. It takes 2 minutes. You can do that. If it's not tracked by character... Yeah, create a new character. Yeah, you know, you're good, Mixture. I was just confused if what you were after was something that was tracked by character or tracked by profile. Because it's an achievement, it's tracked by profile, so you can just create a new character at level 30, teleport to Carcadia Burn, and the quest will be there. You'll have to do the whole quest again, like, but you'll have 20 boxes to open to feed into the vendors. There isn't a lot of combat in the mission, so... Yeah, create a new character, teleport to Carcadia, and just pick up the mission. Level 30 character. Remember to lower the difficulty though. It'll load you in at UVH1, take it off of UVH1. It's a bit of a hassle. You wish the BL4 team just went ahead and vastly changed the balance. There's no reason for the bod to be that powerful. I agree, but they're scared. They don't want to drive players away by nerfing the bod. And the thing is a lot of people do like using the bod. In my opinion, that's dumb, because you're playing a game with millions of guns. With, okay, whilst they do butcher some legendaries, like, this part system does allow guns like this to exist. It is a cool system. And yeah, everyone's just like, ignore it, use the bod. What's the damage from that purple ripper shotgun? It's here, it's a weld room. It's 736 times 4. Nearly 7k card DPS with Torg Impact and Jacob's Ricochet. I'll happily clown on this game, but I also give credit as due. It does create some fun guns to use. They just need to increase the drop chances of these licensed parts on legendaries, and we're golden. Anything wind-up is a no-go for you? It's like half a second. Like, look at this convergence. It's instantaneous. How much fire rate do I have though? This one's 3.9. Character boost fire rates do not apply. They don't affect charge up. The charge up is based solely on the parts of the weapon that it rolled. Fire rate boosts you apply after that do not affect charge up speed. Convergence is good in this game. I much prefer convergence in this game than threes. I didn't like threes convergence, but I like this one. Wind it with airstrike and space laser. Those ones might be fixed. Those ones probably don't take the fire rate of the weapon, but with those you wouldn't want it to anyway, because they're one and dones. It doesn't really matter. Like, no one's complaining about the charge time of a space laser when once the space laser fires, whatever it's hitting, it dies. Like, you'd rather just go damage parts on those weapons rather than fire rate. But in terms of just weapons, like, you know, Goalkeeper or Convergence, then, well, not sure about Goalkeeper, but Convergence, yeah, just fire rate. Yeah, I don't like the Ohm with Ripper. That is one weapon I prefer without. Spam it with an underbarrel Rafa. Ah, right, I see. In that scenario, then yeah, I probably wouldn't go Ripper. But also in that scenario, you're losing damage because Torg Mag is better than Ripper Mag for damage on underbarrels. So you just go Torg Mag anyway. Obviously, Airstrike can roll both, but again, there's no need. If you're doing underbarrel spam, sure. You can avoid Ripper. But for general weapons, it's fine. Flashback Malone, BL3 Malone charge at Discourse. Yeah, well, this time we have two manufacturers with charge up, and both of them have absolutely amazing weapons. Like, do I have my Goalkeeper on me? I do have my Goalkeeper on me. Oh my god. We're committing crime. They blessed us with this weapon. I don't need... I can't. Help if I could aim. I think that was a badass. A shield is pretty, looks like a crossbow. So this gun's special effect is an odd one. You gain bonus damage if enemies deplete this shield. And it's like always deployed. Reminds me of that Siege character, Blackbeard or whatever it's called. But yeah, the special effect of this weapon rarely comes into play. But it's got insanely fast charge up for an auto weapon. And it hits like a goddamn truck. It has no business being this strong. You know what, I bet I could just like semi-auto this. I can. Why is it good? Why can't I semi-auto this? Wait, hang on. That was a badass. You went from ooh, why do you want Ripper to give me Ripper. Is there a good resource for seeing the maximum potential damage fire and crit percentage for a given weapon? No. Not yet. Unfortunately. There's some like compiled lists of roles that people have found, but they won't be like absolute bests. Can Goalkeeper get daedalus? Yes, it can. I didn't like it. I tried a daedalus shotgun Goalkeeper. It just felt a little bit unwieldy. A little bit too inaccurate. This weapon to me is a precise weapon. Luke Lemon doesn't have that. No, Luke Lemon's a little outdated with this game currently. Oh, I'll test Aegon's Dream against a vile enemy. I expected more. Alright, come on, Origo. Don't screw me. Give me good RNG. Data shotgun Goalkeeper shoots too slow, feels wonky. That was my experience with it. Another thing in terms of like a resource for maximum rolls with guns in this game is that perfect rolls, there's even more nuance in this game than there was in previous. Like, in previous games, it was quite easy to point to the best possible Monarch roll, or the best possible, free radical or plasma coil roll. In this game, it's quite a bit more difficult to do that. Just because of license parts. Because sometimes you might want Ripper on an oh my god, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want Jacobs on something, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want Ripper on something, and sometimes you do not. Sometimes you want Torg, and sometimes you don't. If using a Ripper gun in mobbing, fire rate is more important. If using a Ripper gun in bossing, fire rate is less important. Why is it so loud when I teleport? I've yet to find a time where I don't want more Torg. I guess that's more of like a impact versus sticky, right? You don't really want stickies in mobbing. Unless you're doing a bod with Explosiception, but that doesn't count. When would you not want Jacobs? Bossing. So Jacobs takes up a barrel accessory slot, which is basically always damage. Any gun that can roll a Jacobs ricochet part will often have to sacrifice a decent amount of damage to roll a Jacobs ricochet part. So if you get Jacobs ricochet, your single target goes down. Oh no, the Temu Boogeyman. It really is just the Temu Boogeyman, isn't it? Now, I don't mind the charge up. What I dislike more than the charge up is the spool up, where it starts slow fire rate and then gets faster over time. The spooling up mechanic that's in a lot of guns, in a lot of games, is just not something I ever cared for. It just kind of makes guns feel clunky. Does class mods also get drop rate boost? If you mean like the change the other day, yeah. It's worth noting that if you're trying to farm Radix, Radix did not get the boost. And if you're trying to farm Reactor from Inceptus, that doesn't drop there. Hey, you want to know one gun that's just like a sleeper agent in terms of power? It's Star Helix. That was a bad run as well. Only Helix wasn't impossible to farm. Thankfully it's a weapon without a lot of variance. Like, it rolls Jacobs, yeah, sure, but I don't really care about that. It's a bossing weapon. Hard to use on smaller guys. Yeah, not only is the spread high, why is it so slow? If I'm, like, strafing like this, and I've got an enemy in front of me strafing, I ain't hitting that. I don't hit those shots. You have to really barrel stuff enemies with it. But you gotta be careful barrel stuffing with it, because they gave this weapon a unique little bonus, where it does explosions, which increase the damage, which is why it hits so hard. But it also means it hits you hard. I don't understand how it works, just that it happens. I have a good Helix as a Maurice. Yo, same. Well, no, I tell a lie. My Helixes before were good, but now they're just better. That's why horizontal mode. See, I don't like horizontal mode out of principle. That is too wide for most enemies. Which, whilst hitting able, it might be more consistent. I'm doing a third of the damage. And I don't like doing a third of the damage. I want to do all of the damage. Especially when you've got a gun that hits this hard. That's why it was killing you when he was farming Bloom Reaper? Yeah, it's got... Okay, so, let's see if the internet tells me how this works. Well, Loot Lemon does it, doesn't. What about the wiki? Just fires 3 projectiles, horizontal or vertical. No, the wiki doesn't. Obolytics. Vertically or horizontally. Nope, that one doesn't. Oh, Mental Mars. Shoots 3 projectiles, one fires straight ahead, the others follow in a continual oscillating pattern, forming a helix. They can be fired vertically or horizontally between firing modes. Nope, that one doesn't either. There is no documentation on how this gun works. Use the Hardpoint. So I was using the Hardpoint the other day, and the Hardpoint has this really fun gimmick of just disintegrating when trying to use it on Rafa, which is annoying because Rafa's like the character I want to use it on. This is now true mode, so he's got like way more health. Does Drew give you better drop rates? No, it's just for fun. 100 spirits. Terrible. Zero gun handling helps a lot. Yeah, that's the issue with Rafa, is I go Al Centro. You can have to unspec Centro to make use of it. Fire rate busts the hell out of it. Well, that just kind of depends how you use it. So, like, I use it with Vitriol, so I just shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload. So I don't care about for fire rate. I care about reload speed. One cool use of the hardpoint, and it's only cool because this game doesn't work. Sticky mode. It's ×5, which means the hardpoint gets the same level of brokenness with stickies than the bod does. Obviously, it's not as good as the bod, but stickies currently are bugged to be. They get the entire shot's worth of mult on each individual pellet. So the more pellets you have, just the more ridiculous it gets. So the hardpoint is a lot stronger. I have not dedicated, no. Got Ashes Rise and Chuck this week. Anything to look for? Ashes Rise, I think you're just going for like card damage. If it rolls Jacob's Ricochet, hooray. But Ashes Rise isn't very great. Chuck, you want Replicator and Homing. Rather the other way around. Homing, Replicator if you can. How's the Rainmaker? It's solid. It's not like... I don't find it anything too impressive. The part variance is nuts. But Big Encore is broken. Broken in what way? God bless conversions. Drop rates are trashed, according to Epic. Okay, so... we need to separate broken and questionable design choices from Gearbox software. Nothing about Big Encore is broken. Nothing about Big Encore has changed. It's still the same as it ever was. It's just that in some scenarios, non-Big Encore is better than Big Encore. They've just buffed normal Encore so much that it now sometimes overtakes. Save money by spending Iridium? I mean the other way around, right? You can save Iridium by spending money. Money's a lot easier to get than Iridium. You get several Encore runs worth of farming from one item that drops from the boss that you spend money on. God bless the fucking root. Why is this gun? I love it. Root remains winning. I wasn't even using an Atlas splitty thingy. Oops. I don't have a good Atlas enhancement. I need a better Atlas enhancement. Just use the Ripper one. I wonder if Bounce Pass does a silly. Probably better for an amp setup. That's unfortunately the case in a lot of cases. You try and do something interesting, but then remember that this is Borderlands 4 and AMP is just better. Make AMP soup. Won't solve everything, but it'll help. Did I put on Sure Shot? I did. Like how hyped the Kosen was initially and now no one uses it. Chaosin needs to be more like it was in 3. Yeah, Chaosin is like a prime example of a victim of the Borderlands 4 part system. As good as the license parts like can be, Chaosin was definitely a victim, which is why I don't want them to bring back Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance was one of the best guns in Borderlands 3. It was fantastic. Don't bring it back, because they'll bring it back and use Torgue stickies, because they hate it. Make amp soup. Oh, what's that? Make crit a malt. Sounds good. I mean, if it's crit being a malt, would that change much? I feel like that would just help everything equally and just make the game easier. Something the game does not need. Hey, Viper, how's the testing going? Have you tested the criminally underrated gun, Dark Beast? Everyone's favorite underrated gun. So underrated that they had to buff it. Right, nobody uses the Chaosin anymore. This is not what I planned. Why do I have 3 Infinium? Do I have an alternate to that? What's better? High Cal 2 or Deadeye 2? High Cal, right? Oh, and then I don't have knife. That's fine though. I don't need Deadeye 1 now. I could do bullets. Oh, we're cooking. We're cooking. The oven is hot. This is not a firmware combination I ever expected to use, but here we are. What's the God Roll Manta? Is it Ripper Jacob's amp? For mobbing, I don't care for Ripper. It eats too much ammo. So for my Vex build, I just do Jacobs. And then for bossing, I just do Ripper. Hey, Bats, how you doing? Hello, hello. Rowdy Rider's kind of clairvoyant? No, it isn't. Isn't the Wombo combo just the Ogre? No, because Borderlands 3 Ogre is the closest relative, and Borderlands 3 Ogre was the worst Ogre. So we'll just like kind of shuffle that one away. There's still 4 removed, correct? So the 4 empty slots will be Defiance, Chaos, Cold Shoulder, and that other one. Sweet Embrace. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. That was some solid launch level chaosining, was that. Anything from testing guns? Any headlines? So the headlines is I don't see the point in Aegon's Dream, and Onslaught is a worse brewery. Which, this isn't very groundbreaking, I know, but... The sky is blue, more at 11. Star Helix is a powerhouse, and Chaosan still got it. Now, granted, Chaosan is being assisted by a bug, because this weapon has technically been bugged since launch, because Torgue Stickies have been bugged since launch in one way or another. Chaosan is benefiting from the sticky bug, but only minorly. So instead of 2%, this will be about 4%. For a 4% one, it'll be about 8%. You got nothing? So, when they removed the Moxie challenges, Ubats, from the challenge list for the Phosphenes, they just didn't. So you're 65 out of 67, you're missing the 2 Moxie weapons, because they didn't remove them. Star Helix is a powerhouse. If you can hit stuff with it, yes. The problem is hitting stuff with it. It's a bit tricky. It's a bossing gun? It's absolutely a bossing gun. Or anything that's big. So, like, Rages. It's good versus Rages, right? Because they've got tons of health and they're big. Chaosan still got it. So Chaosan is 2 ammo per shot. Divided by 41. So this puts it at about 5% sticky malt. Now, does only say 2, so it is benefiting from the bug. Using armored gamma ray burst, does it still trigger unbreak perks? Not a fucking clue. It's Vamoose o'clock. Is it Vamoose o'clock? I suppose it can be Vamoose o'clock. Ram, are you wanting this Aegon's Dream back? Or am I good to keep it? Yeah, I'll show you a quick Star Helix run. I don't have a great... This one, that one. Aegon stats on your highlight. The problem is what does it offer that Lucian's Fang doesn't? Like, what is it offering? It suddenly doesn't beat it in power. Is it just pure? Yeah, it's just purely inferior. It doesn't do anything. Offers the weapon skin. Hell yeah. A different element in the bonus element video game? For less damage? You do realize the point of an element is to do more damage. That was me, like, terrible. I got hit and then I missed a bunch of crits. Slaps hard, so do other... You can't judge things in a vacuum. Yes, it slaps hard because this game is easy as shit. Doesn't make it good. Okay, Star Helix, my apologies, was not aware of your game. Yeah, Star Helix is good. Like, if it does 50% of its damage versus an elementally immune enemy, is the argument for Aegon's Dream, I'm fine with a Groupagrak. It does more damage. It's 2 elements though, it doesn't matter. An element only... The only purpose of an element in a Borderlands game is to do more damage. So even when it's matching element, it's still doing less damage than other weapons. It doesn't bring anything. And half the time, it's okay. When it's multi-element, this is not in its benefit, because it means that half the time, it's losing a chunk of damage, even if you try an element match, because you cannot element match with the weapon. And elements in this game don't do anything. They just make damage go up and down. So when the damage is still lower, you're just doing less. Can Star Helix roll with Atlas? I think it might be. I don't know. It'd be weird if it could, though. Although we're lacking content, at least the content in this game we do have is amazing until you burn out. As a playthrough, this game is fantastic. This game is really good as a playthrough. But yeah, as you say, like, they're bringing Pearls next week, but it's... next week. That's not a leak. We're getting Pearls next month. Where do we use them? Pearls aren't a playthrough weapon. It's probably due to Harlow's cryo output. That won't affect anything because Harlow's cryo output is a bonus element. It doesn't in fact, no, that's not how bonus elements work. That's not how bonus elements take this month, yeah, sorry, it is now February. Bonus elements take the base value of the weapon's card damage. So by a weapon rolling element, it lowers the card damage of the weapon, and thus lowers your bonus element damage. Pearls are not next week. We've just had a patch. If Pearls are next week, then I'll be shocked. Triple Point is the only one for sure. But even then, Cryo Wombo exists. Cryo Lucian's Flank exists. But it just doesn't do anything that those weapons do not. Pearl should bypass immune phases. What weapon was I going to try next? Zipper? I'm not doing Zipper. Okay, well... I'll shoot a few enemies with Zipper. It'll kill things because my Vex is good. And then we can put it away. Woodblocker! Man... Do you remember when they buffed Wood Blocker? And then they broke the buff to Wood Blocker? I remember. Oh yeah, I was gonna do Rangefinder as well. Gonna run out of time. Pure Daedalus. Do I have a good Pure Daedalus enhancement, or am I just using my good one? No, they're all like ammo sustain. I'll just use my Ripper. Bonnie and Clyde. Okay, this is about testing like underrated weapons, not absolute powerhouses of grossness. Even though Woodblocker got a buff, it did. It got a crit buff. Vamoose, that was it. Alright, let's go test out this this change that they did, because they changed this this Alexi safe, didn't they? Right, I'll go on with Amp, just give it everything. Oh my god, I 2-bursted that enemy. Wait. I'm a genius. Hang on. I have an idea. Get him, boy! Trouble, I need you to draw aggro better. This is with Amp, by the way.
Damn, I'm good.
What's going on? My action skill is like broken. I've broken my action skill. I don't know how I've done that. So with the inconsistent aggro relief of Trouble. There we go. Big Trouble. I can distract enemies and shoot them in the back. Trouble's the new meta. Distract enemies so you can shoot them in the back with a zipper. They ruined the spot? They really did. Why did... Could they not make the enemies just spawn faster? Like, it was annoying, because they spawned so slowly. So why was the solution just to remove them all? Because it was kind of cool having so many badasses. So where's the chest? There it is. They need to buff these chests. They really need to buff these chests. These chests are tied to mobbing encounters. They need to buff this chest. This weapon is miserable, good lord. It's not even fun to use. It's nice that they aren't buff Poplux, but it's so slow. Absolutely. Like the buffs that they're... Okay, some of the buffs have been questionable, but... They haven't overdone anything yet, which is good. Wrist barely spawn at all now. Have they actually lowered, like, the rift spawn rate? That's messed up, if true. I have a daedalus shotgun Vamoose. I think my ricocheting Vamoose is on Harlow. That's fine, we can use a daedalus shotgun Vamoose. That won't eat all of my bullets. Is Frangible still in the game? No.
Fine, leave, like everyone else. Welcome to quote-unquote.
Let's take off amp for this. I don't mind the idea of this weapon. I actually do find the Vamoose fun. It's not very powerful. Yeah, I need the one that's on my Harlow. It's got Jacobs on it. But why is it Ripper? I actually don't mind the Ripper aspect of it because it's like, it almost plays like an order. Okay, so tell me what's the difference between the Vamoose and the Goalkeeper? What's the difference? Goalkeeper gets better enhancements. Ripper enhancements are really good. Although I suppose maybe not for this weapon. Yeah, that's fair. One's a sniper, but they play the same. That's what I'm getting at. Gameplay-wise, they play the same. But yeah, you're right. It does need more damage to have, like, a point of using this over, say, like, a truck. One has a prettier skin. When the prettier skin is just black, then... like, generic rifle skin. But yeah, Goalkeeper does look very nice. Doesn't reload. Oh, the reload's like a second, it's fine. A lot of the skins are just color vomit. Real. Hey, heck, how you doing? Good to see you. Love how I still pig. Hey, thank you. Goremaster? I don't have a good Goremaster yet. I want one though. Right, time to be really disappointed. Like this is going to be... I'm gonna throw on amp. I don't have enough confidence in this. Is this slower than Onslaught? Alright, check back in another 2 years. Lucky calendars, February the 12th. Is that when you think pearls are going to be added? You ever talk Jacob's Goremaster? You see, that's the Goremaster that I want. Anyone know how Vamoose interacts with Bullet Buddy Deluxe and Rafa? Right, okay. So the same with Vamoose happens with Phantom Flame, right? Where it's like a mag dump. Gearbox, in their infinite wisdom. I'm not really knocking them for this, but I kinda am. So the way this gun works is when you have a burst fire, like the Phantom Flame or the Vamoose, it fires the mag dump through a burst. So it fires... So it means that if you let go of the mouse or the trigger, it still shoots. Whereas if it was fully automatic, it would stop shooting. So to make it so that it would keep shooting if you let go of the trigger, is they make it a burst. The issue with making it a burst is they need to put a burst count. They have to put in a number of bullets to fire. It's really funny when you're using Bullet Buddy Deluxe or any other form of infinite ammo, you fire it, and it'll just stop firing. After like 20 shots. And the same happens with Phantom Flame. Is if you try using it with Bullet Buddy Deluxe, it'll just stop shooting. Loop until mag equals 0. Gearbox in there is infinite wisdom. Or just how the game's set up in the back end, I have no fucking idea. Well, that does seem a tad overtuned. You're talking about overtuned when talking about the Vamoose in a game where bot exists. Yeah, the Phantom Flame you can spam the trigger, which is nice. Your guess is around the 19th. Well, okay, so I think the main thing is how long between patches, right? So 12th would be 2 weeks between major patches. With that major patch being a paid content drop, which they need to bloody advertise, because it's paid, and Pearlescence. In my opinion, That's not enough time. Do they need to advertise it? Yes. Will they? Different question. So the 19th would be 3 weeks, and then 27th would be 4. No, 26th would be 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I think it could be either of those. Pearls? Pearls in my video game with nothing to use pearls on. So we'll happily clown on this game, Quag, but like the playthrough is legitimately good as far as like an open world Ubisoft game, you know? It's this open world, icon hoovering, shit to do, a lot of shit. This is the biggest campaign in terms of stuff to do whilst playing it, in a somewhat open order. It is a good playthrough. It's just that after you've done the playthrough, you kind of need imagination, otherwise it'll run down very quickly. Do I have the shiny rangefinder? I do, don't I? I do. Look at me go. Advertise the DLC, not the main game. Well, so, okay, Wonderlands DLC had a couple of stuff around it. Worth noting, something that I have gotten wrong. The Wonderlands DLCs, the post-launch content, was not made by Gearbox. It was outsourced. Which explains how we ended up with missing name. Yeah, so there's a couple of other stuff around that which I'm not sure if I can say or not, Viper. But I will say that Gearbox did not make the PLCs. It was outsourced by a different company that no longer exists. And also why there was a lot of confusion around the existence of Wonderlands 2 and if it's been cancelled and if it's not. Because that other company was making Wonderlands 2, and well, they're not anymore. I forgot the name of it. That's bad. That's on me. I shouldn't have forgot the name of it. The other company. But yeah, they were trying to outsource it. Didn't really work. BL2 DLC was also outsourced, if I recall correctly. I have that memory as well, Rapid Fire. The first 3 were outsourced, and then Tiny Tina's was done in-house. Backpack 2 Stone Demon gives me Deserty Snake vibes, like boss in the Tiny Tina. To me, that name does sound like a very like Wonderlands boss idea, doesn't it? A friend and I were planning on starting the game. Launch looked real bad. Is it worth playing now? So if you're talking about like the performance issues, the performance is a lot better. So I have gained quite a lot of FPS since launch, and initially I was playing with frame gen on. I'm now playing with it off. But it's not better for like everyone, especially on consoles. Some people are like, I've heard people say that they're playing it on an Xbox Series S and it's absolutely fine. And I've heard other people saying that they're playing it on an X or a PS5 and it's crashing a lot. So for consoles, I can't really speak, but they have done a lot of performance improvements. Yeah. In terms of the actual game content, it's largely the same. There's like an endgame raid boss now, which is cool, and there's like a DLC next month, and then a bigger DLC the month after. It's definitely worth a co-op playthrough if you can like pick it up on sale. As a co-op playthrough, it's a great game. provided it can, you know, run. You play PS5 and it's pretty good for you? There you go, there's a good voucher for PS5. Lost Boys Interactive, that was the company. It was Lost Boys Interactive that made the PLCs. Was Gearbox trying to outsource the whole IP? It might have been more of a 2K decision, we don't know. You play on a Series S and have had no problems. Well, there you go. Your laptop is under minimum requirements in several ways, but you now get 50 to 60 FPS pretty consistently. There you go. You might need to fiddle around with settings. There are some settings that are a bit iffy. So on mine, I have these lighting settings turned off. But everything else, you know, like high, far, very high, high. I've got them a little bit lower than what I could. Volume fed trim out on low. I've got them a little bit lower than what I could do, just because I'm playing frame gen off. I could play with it on, and it's, like, fine. Halo 4 is the best Borderlands game. In terms of, like, a launch state, I would agree with you. You know, performance and bugs aside, I would agree with you. They just need to give it the Borderlands 3 post-launch treatment, which currently it's lagging. Guns! Rangefinder. Rangefinder is awkward because 3, 2, 1. This firing pattern, you cannot hold down the trigger. You gotta push for each of those, and it's just like, it just throws you off. It's simple, it doesn't look annoying or complicated, but it just is. Gearbox, let us just hold down the trigger, please. Does it remember the pattern after a reload or reset? It resets, it seems. Well, that immediately did a lot more damage than Zipper. I see we're still having to glaze that Back for Blood accessibility feature. Hey, you want to talk about accessibility features? What about being able to play on Tuesdays? Why is this good? Hold on, I need to take amp off. Of course I say that and I immediately get rushed by a bloody vile enemy. Yeah, this has humbled it quite a bit. If you land your one shot, So right now, I've got the one shot lined up. That shot is actually really strong. You used this gun during your first story playthrough, you liked it a lot. I can imagine this gun is a fun story playthrough weapon. I think next time I do a playthrough, I'm going to try it out. If I'm in a situation where I can farm via prototype easily, I might pick one up.
Your gun's hungry then, Volsunner.
Hey, kill drone.
Well, ease up, ease up.
Rangefinder's almost decent. One non-Ruby's grass size buff away from being respectable. And what, a Ruby's grass size buff would make it overpowered? What was the accessibility thing for Blood? Basically, semi-automatic weapons, you could fire fully automatically if you held down the trigger. Food's gone. You're sad now. It's not gone. It's just inside you. Going where you go. Just think about that. Not gone. It's with you. It'll stay with you. For 10 to 20 hours. In which it will make its exit. Is Val Prototype better than Val Bounties? No. No, Val Prototype drops the Rangefinder. The real food is the friends we made along the way, I think. I mean, to a point. Has XP? No, it's just a normal boss with normal boss XP. Hey, believe it or not, this gun feels a lot better when you actually count your shots and what shot you want on the burst and not just spamming away. And actually making sure you're landing the good shot. And you actually meet something with a health bar and then get sad again. So I've got the one shot lined up now. Oh. Yeah, one shot him. Okay, ammo refills doesn't reset it. That's good. A lot better in shotgun mode. The problem is I don't really sustain ammo too well on Vex. It's a shame it can't roll Jacob's Ricochet. That's one thing with this part system, is any weapon that can't roll Jacob's Ricochet is automatically just, like, worse in mobbing. Is Daedalus Pistol just being an undertuned weapon type? So maybe not buffing this weapon, but buffing Daedalus Pistols in general. Meanwhile, Star Helix. bless the Star Helix when you can actually hit something with it. Would also help Zipper too. Zipper might need a little bit more than a manufacturer-wide buff. You see those explosions there? That's the Star Helix special effect that just isn't documented anywhere. What is the special effect? You see, I don't really know because it's not documented anywhere. Nobody talks about it. I know it's a damage boost. I can't remember what the percentage is. And it makes it go boom. So it's good now. It was good before. It's just underappreciated. As your Harlow, when they fix refraction, I'm terrified. Of when they fix refraction. Make my own website. I have my own, but the problem is upkeep, especially with game information like that, is just too much time. Like, I just do not have the time to be doing that. To make my own weapons database. Especially when other weapons databases are there. They just need correct information. It'd be a waste of time for me to just make a new one. There's a crit spot in there somewhere. You not bypass Ripper Queen's immunity phase like you can Moon Queen? That sucks. Refraction basically Jacob's anything on anything? Well, we don't really know because it don't work. But yeah, if it's like indiscriminate, then it'd be crazy. There's a gun. 2, in fact. Okay, so my Harlow is currently set up for falling bodies, which I suppose we can play around with. I think I'm on true. We can take it off true. Why did Rowan's have to be sticky? Because they needed to showcase the new part system by recreating legendaries with the new part system. Explosion crits? That's what it looks like, but I don't think it's every crit. Right, what gun am I using? Bear in mind I'm using Bubble Hollow. Borstal Ballista. I'm using Bubble Hollow. Does not seem like a Borstal Ballista playstyle. Aegon's Dream, we've already used that level of disappointment. Where even is my Ballista? I don't have a Ballista in my bank. Kaleidosplode, it shoots bubbles. You're not wrong. Oh, mine's Ripper too. I don't have a cricket. Just realized you've been using a level 30 shield on a level 45 character. It happens. Not the bees! Does this gun even do anything? It is the fireworks. Oh, get a new one. Fireworks level scales. Because it's a damage shield, but the shield itself is doing the damage. Yeah, you'll want a new fireworks.
Oh, look, a chicken with their command cut off. You and Luke.
It's struggling to keep up with the regenerative. We are the Bubble Clue Queen. Some gameplay of all time. You cannot comprehend the power of the bubble blaster. I can't kill this enemy because it's got a shield. Hold on, there's a vile enemy here, and a vile enemy shuts this action skill down because Bubble can't have nice things. Is there a name for this build yet? Depression.exe. It's just the most you've ever seen this gun do. K6 just released his "This gun sucks" video on this weapon like yesterday. This is a blue tree build as well. Yeah, you can definitely make this gun do more, but it doesn't make it good. See, when I just fired it there, right? I thought those beams would, like, do damage. I thought they would, like, latch onto enemies and do damage. This is, of course, me being too hopeful. Okay, so I've got a Mad Lad here. Bring the lob back. Better idea. Make new guns that are fun and interesting. No. Lob. Understandable. Okay, let's try out one of these new and interesting weapons. Okay, I need to stop blasting. We killed it! Of course, it immediately goes for the vile enemy it can't pick up. Gearbox, just let Bubble pick up vile enemies so it doesn't kill our action skill. Thank you. Is the WTF any good? It's very good. Is this a phase up grasp shit AI moment? So... sort of. If you try and use Bubble, with any of the action skill augments or capstones, it wants you to point at the enemy, so it uses player accuracy. The problem is sometimes it'll still just say no and go into a 4-second cooldown, up from 1 second. So that sucks. Less range than Phase Grasp, less accuracy than Phase Grasp, worse cooldown than Phase Grasp. Kinda sucks. But the one capstone that changes his behavior is the one that I'm using, Falling Bodies. Falling Bodies, because the entire point is that you put like everybody into the sky, and like you have 5, 6, 7 enemies bubbled. That's quite awkward to keep on top of. So it decides that it just auto-targets instead. So this can pick up enemies off the ground from off-screen, which is cool. It does mean that it is at, like, to the subject of whatever it wants to pick up, rather than whatever you want to pick up. Which means sometimes it'll occasionally target vile enemies, which can't be picked up, and it kills your action skill. Golden God. Oh, Golden God on Rafa is excellent. What a weapon. What's the DPS of Mad Lad without reloading? Okay, so even if you have infinite ammo with the Mad Lad, it still does less DPS than a bully. Please raise your standards. Oh, that's a bully with reloading, by the way, not infinite ammo bully. But that's a bully with reloading. That's less DPS than a wombo combo with reloading. It do go burr though. I will give you that. It do go burr. Just don't burr very hard. The fact that I'm needing to pace my shots versus basic enemies is Alright, with sniper mode. Tragically, I don't have the ammo sustain for that. I would need to go back onto green tree building. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't save it. The gun still does just low damage. Now, game's easy. I'm not saying you can't kill with it. I'm killing with it, with Blue Tree Hollow. Ran out of bullets. Disappointed with legendary SMGs. Yeah, that's fair. Chaoson's like fine versus bossing, but it's never really been able to shine on merit. What are the legendary SMGs? Anything Hellfire does, a purple can just kind of do, like with Shrapnel Launcher. Mad Lad's got low DPS. Royal kinda does what Mad Lad does with extra steps with a bit more DPS, but it's still not, like, enough. Plasma Coil just does not feel like it. Oh my god's good. Oh my god's very good. And Dark Beast is amazing. Dark Beast is 12.7. Mad Lad's 12.7. Yeah, it's lower than Wombo. And around what the bully gives you. And not even talk about breweries with extra barrel. Like, we won't even go there. And Whiskey Foxtrot is on another plane of existence. The sleep part of Dark Beast is you have to get a Ripper with Jacobs with shotgun. Okay, so all of the gameplay that I have been showing with Dark Beast when I like swap to it doesn't use that. Jacobs is great for multi-target, but I've been using it for single target. I've not been using the shotgun alt swap, I've just been using the base firing mode. And I've not been using it with Ripper. Ripper's nice if you're using it for bossing, because the Dark Beast is strong enough to be used in bossing. So Ripper's good for that. And then Jacobs is good for mobbing. You don't need to mix and match them, though. You don't need a Ripper Jacobs, because you don't need Jacobs for bossing, and you don't need Ripper for mobbing, so you don't need both on the same gun. And then Daedalus Shotgun is just, like, nice, especially on your bossing Dark Beasts. But it eats through ammo, and that might not be preferable. Like, just base firing mode is fine on a Dark Beast. Hell, you can even go with, like, alternate ammo, like, elements and stuff. I don't think that's worth it, personally, but you can do it. Ripper Jacobs is only used for the Wombo farm or Christmas farm, or Phase 1 Bloom Reaper. But even then, you can still do Phase 1 Bloom Reaper in 5 seconds without Ripper. Where am I going? I'm going green tree. Goodbye, blue tree! Must be boring. Dark Beast, all things considered, is a pretty easy farm. Oh, I want to show this gun off, because this gun rocks. What's this gun? The greatest. How do I get weapon card layout like that? Mods! It's like better card description mod something on Nexus. Actually, it might be in the description. Check the description of the stream. I think it's in there. There's like a link to it.
Shiver me timber!
Anyway, let's actually go mob with this.
Only know how to do is follow orders. I need to run over them faster.
I can't go through here, can I? No! Glad we get additional kills with the bounty pack, that way everyone gets free ones and the paymo gets... Well, it's completely fair. So, like, there's a patch for, like, everyone, yeah. Your facts and logic crush my hopes and dreams, Rip Mad Lad. I mean... Hey. I'm more than happy to say, hey, Mad Lad numerically. Because here's the thing, right? If you go around and say, oh, Mad Lad's fine, and Gearbox see that, they're less likely to buff it. But if you say, hey, Mad Lad does less DPS than most things and you have to really jump through a lot of hoops and bypass the legendary effect of the weapon itself just to make it worthwhile, because if you go infinite ammo with the Mad Lad, you are bypassing the legendary effect, then maybe it could stand to have some buffs. And some buffs makes everybody happier for this gun. People who don't like the Mad Lad can start using the Mad Lad. And people who like using the Mad Lad get a weapon that's actually competitive with other weapons. And they're going to be increasing the UVH cap. That's going to happen. So if the Mad Lad can keep up a bit, because it is one of the weaker legendaries, obviously I'm not saying balance around the higher UVHs, because that was the mistake Borderlands 3 did, but Mad Lad, everything's viable, so it's easy on some dumb shit. Yeah, so you don't want to balance on the highest, but like right now, the Mad Lad is more of an outlier than the stronger weapons, like Dark Beast. Like Mad Lad, I think is a weapon that you could, because like if I'm on a playthrough, right, a lot of my purples are going to be outperforming the Mad Lad. If I'm on a playthrough and I get this weapon to drop, I still don't use it. That is where I'd say, okay, maybe it could stand to use a little bit of a buff. Fuck you, game. Alright, fuck you. You win. Fucking piece of rigged shit. Need to equip the robot. Speaking of things that need a buff. What is this reload animation? And why is it, like, cool? Wait, I'm not properly utilizing the special effect. Shoots eggs that hatch flying roaches when attached to flesh, living or dead. What does it mean by dead? Because I was shooting a dead body there and it wasn't doing shit. Does it need to be like scenery dead? Not alive? Well, the guy I killed, despite using a roach, believe it or not, I killed a guy with it. It was not working. Did I kill him too hard? Does enemies killed with the roach not count? Does it need to be dead bodies that are already there within the world? Like, maybe it just means like my soul for using this weapon. Of course, Harlow still kills things with it. Which boss drops the generator class mod? How goes the testing? I'm using a roach. I'm killing with it. Like, these are the easiest enemies for mobbing. Like, this is the Mallow one of Borderlands 4, but it is passing the Athena's test. I'm using an amp gun. I'm using an amp shield. Am I using an amp shield? I'm using a siphon shield. What am I doing? No wonder my assault rifle didn't feel as good as it normally does. I wasn't using an amp shield. I am unleashed. Look at me go. It doesn't do enough damage. Vile Lictor, that's boring. It doesn't do enough damage to cycle amp. I'm going back to the fun gun, now that I've put amp on. Still don't get the overshield amp mechanic. So, I think there's a lot of misinformation about how overshield and amp works. Amp and overshield don't interact. There isn't one. Having overshield is nice because it means if you get shot, it doesn't take away your ability to use amp, but your shield will still, the undershield, not the shield, the the actual shield will still drain and refill as you use amp. It's just that you've got overshield there as a buffer. Don't even see overshield as a type of shield. Just, it's another health bar type. It's armor. It's something else. Don't even see it as the same thing. You can watch your shield bar go up and down while still having overshield. The only thing that overshield does when stopping your shields from draining is the oh my god shield. Gun, sorry, the SMG. When you have overshield, that SMG will stop draining. But that's not amp. That's oh my god. Amp will still just work as amp does. You got your undershield right here. The thing is, Quag, is there is a shield in this game called the undershield. It's not very good. It's a shield for our shield, exactly.
Junkyard fodder, eh?
Do I not have bounce pass on this character? How stupid am I?
20,000 uses for robots, and this is what you do? Ugh.
One thing I really like about this gun is it just feels good. It's just like an assault rifle. Thanks, Dark Beast. Very cool. The shield is losing its meaning to me. Harlow and Roth are too strong, they need a nerf. Nah. What are the parts on this? Jacob's Ricochet, Daedalus Shotgun. Very simple roll. Ban the guy who's at Roth enough. Nice and simple? Yeah, nice and simple. There's Jacob's Ricochet, Daedalus Shotgun. The parts you basically want on like every gun. Hollow's drone skill is visually annoying. Yes. What if it's a shotgun? Then you want Daedalus SMG. That's not a be-all catch-all, by the way. That's just, I like the convergence with Daedalus SMG. That's not every shotgun you should use Daedalus SMG, because that's not the case. Yeah, no, this purple IR is really good. I need to try this out. Let's go to the true endgame mobbing of this video game. So somebody asked about Whiskey Foxtrot earlier. Christ. I'm scared. That's scary. That's really scary. Overdrive or basic Ripper Mag? Overdrive. So basically they're identical, but Overdrive doesn't have the charge. But you have limited ammo with it. That's the trade-off. One thing I want to test with this is using the Vladoff underbarrel, the legendary enhancement. To increase its uptime. Because Overdrive is really good for this situation where you just kind of like tap firing. You know, this needs true mode. This needs true mode. This is too strong. You don't need that? Well, the cooldown... It doesn't say what the cooldown is. It doesn't care that I'm on... The cooldown's really fucking long. This is why Jacob's Ricochet was a mistake. Listen, I don't want anyone to tell me that Aegon's Dream is fine when this exists. Granted, Aegon's Dream probably shouldn't be this strong. There aren't many things that should be this strong. Single target is where you start seeing the issue, but even then, like... This is still 20k card DPS. Make the fire rate go even higher because I've got group study and I've not been using it. Did this thing receive a buff? Oh, did it? Effects for Whiskey Foxtrot will now expire as intended. What does that mean? Is that a nerf? Maybe it didn't get a buff. No, I think it's just been like this. It's always been a very good gun. Shrapnel debuff wasn't wearing off. Ah, that would make a lot of sense. Shrapnel debuff, yes. Because the this is the overdrive underbarrel. The other underbarrel has a debuff attached to it. Oh, build video for what I'm using right now. This looks fun. Sort of. What happens if you do this? That's a very light write-up. But that's kind of just what I use. I don't even think that's a write-up. That's just like, yeah. That's literally just listing off what I'm using. That's a little bit different. So right now, I went a bit boring, and I overspec'd green over here. Whereas in the spec in that link goes parallel circuit, bright future, ripple effect. The difference is small. It's just two different ways of going about it. I'm still tweaking around and experimenting.
The tips welcome. Money, not advice.
But the core is there.
Welcome to the ice age. I wish I could call them both in their own way. Keep 'em mind, they don't mind dying. Exactly as I planned.
Three elements to look for a rainbow bullet. Doesn't matter too much. It kind of. If you want like an all-in-one, like fire, shock, corrosive will be fine. You could also do like cryo rad and then cryo rad fire would work too. That one might be a bit more consistent. Cryo rad fire. I'm not sure on the rules for the weapon because I don't really use it. I'm just kind of going off of element logic. So if there's like limitations, then I'm sorry. I tried the generator class mod recently, got one plus 5 control group. You see, earlier when I asked who drops the generator class mod, it was to try and get precisely that. Because that is something I want to play around with, because I don't have one. Oh yeah, I do have one on me. It accesses your duration, right, which is not good. But control group helps get that back a little bit. And the 200% action skill power. You can really just start loading up action skill power into Nuclear Winter. And then, if you go, say, like, make Extraordinary, get some crit chance in there, because Excited State won't apply. This bonus element starts doing a lot of damage on top of the damage of the gun itself. So, that is something I want to try, and I do think that is the ultimate, like, min-max state of your typical group study build. So I use Bio Robot because it's really comfy, but Generator would be more damage. A hollowed build is this? Well, you're looking at it. It's simply Green Tree, because Green Tree is overpowered. Group Study for ridiculous bonuses. Distribution Function for infinite amp. Excited State for infinite crits. Critical Funding for infinite ammo. Nuclear Winter to enable all of the above. And Confirmative Reality, so it's always there. And then damage.
More bullets than anyone can handle. I think a little chaos.
This is true VH6. This is true mode. That's right, Ripper and Jacobs, what the hell? RNG gonna RNG for what it's worth. Bloom Reaper does not get the UVH by UVH drop rate bonus. True VH M6? Yeah, I've just been calling it True VH. Is the AF1000 with action skill cooldown the best action skill restore for Reaper Vex? Depends if you're going kill skill or not. Because if you're going kill skill, you'll have access to guns and needles. If you have access to guns and needles, you can spam rep kit off cooldown. If you can spam rep kit off cooldown, it's better to go with a lower duration rep kit so you get more caffeine procs. Also, you could also just use Warpaint with Accelerator. That way you get 30% movement speed and 30% fire rate, whilst having 100% uptime on Accelerator. If you do not have access to kill skill procs, which, what are you doing? You should. Go guns and needles. If you're not doing guns and needles, then yes, AF1000. But I don't see a reason why you shouldn't spec guns and needles and to just use a different rep kit that's better. You got to start Helix with Jacob's Ricochet. Feels like using a Stray on steroids. An interesting comparison. Glad you're enjoying it. You think we're going to get a BL5 with how things are going? A new trilogy in the series? Not a fucking clue. This won't go well. In these situations, you want the generator class mod. Or a root. A root would have solved that much quicker. Add one more takedown to Borderlands 3, fix the bugs, and you don't need a Borderlands 5? Yeah, basically. A COV takedown would go hard. But also, like, I'm... Even with the new takedown, I've played so much BL3. Like, I've explored most of the... Oh! Crime! Finally! This thing is, like, disgusting. Shrapnel cannon with sticky. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a Ripper SMG, shrapnel cannon, and stickies. And that is one of the best underbarrels in the game, along with beam tosser, spread launcher. Any standouts that I've tried today? I like Vamoose more than most people. Kaleidosplode sucks. Whiskey Foxtrot, with the correct roll, good luck lol, is a war crime. Rangefinder, kinda nearly there. Just needs a little bit of help and it's like right there. Rangefinder solid. Mad Lad is a depressing puddle of piss. Star Helix, very good if you can hit your shots. Zipper was... I completely forgot about the Zipper, but that is a gun that exists in this video game. So is the Roach. That is also a gun that exists in this video game. Can you get a Jacob's part with the Risky Foxtrot? Yes. You can get that roll. That roll is disgusting. Would I use an Atlas route over a Jacobs route? Yes. Atlas and Jacobs together is the best. Followed by just Atlas. Followed by just Jacobs. Followed by nothing. Atlas first. And then, ideally, you have Atlas darts. Not grenade, darts. But that's less important. Don't worry too much if your God Roll route rolled with grenade. Doesn't matter. But it does make a small difference. I might be lying when I say small, but... If you're cheating your route in, give it darts. But with the way farming is in this game, if it rolls with grenade, don't go, oh, I need a farm again. I know I didn't use it today, but if anyone doesn't know, Linebacker is one of the best ad clear weapons in the video game. You want to make a dumb build for Bonnie and Clyde Dedio and 1 Atlas EX? What's the swap speed on Atlas EX? %? Is that worth it? You get 100% from equip speed passive. Would you not just want, like... Because you go Dedio 3, that only leaves you 2 left over. You go Atlas EX 1, that only leaves you a 1 slot, which is really depressing. Don't you want, like, at least High Cal 2? Had Root and Warpaint and Maurice last week, you're stacked. Oh, that's very good. Right. With that, I'm gonna call it there. Sort of stream it today, I know, but Sunday's gonna fun day. Because of the enhancements. That is a nice benefit, but no. Atlas has a unique interaction with Root, intentional or not, I have no idea. But it makes it very consistent in its damage. Like, even in a vacuum, where you have no other bonuses applied, you will notice a significant increase in damage if you have Atlas tracker darts applied versus not. You will have a significant increase in damage. That's just how it is. It's something to do with the mini projectiles and tracking or something. It's nothing to do with stats or anything, it's just the behavior of the pellets of the weapon. And that's why Atlas parts on a Root is more important than Atlas parts on, like, any other gun. And then you have the perks of also having access to Atlas enhancements and Atlas firmwares. But yeah, I'm going to call it there. Significant, like 5 times or more? Yes. Yes. Is in literally, like, the moment your tracker darts fall off, you will notice when they fall off. Because your damage will just, like, die. Especially if you're shooting something like Bloom Reaper. Yes, it's very significant having Atlas. Atlas is hugely important for the Root, if you want single target damage. Multi-target you can get away without, especially with, like, Daedalus Shotgun. I know that's popular. But for bossing, Atlas is very good. Next week, live Wednesday with some more bullshitting around. And then Thursday, patch day. Friday, following on from patch day. Saturday, no stream. Sunday, secret. I will try and get a build video out next week. Now, some people, if you hang out in the right spaces, may have already seen the build in question. And I was going to play the build today, but I wanted to release the build video first. And that is because this build that I have in secret, I've not shown it yet outside of a couple of time trial runs, is absolutely fucking insane. Bossing's a bit of an issue, but mobbing, it is disgusting. It is, like, genuinely, I think, one of just the best mobbing builds in the game that does not use... Well, okay, to this point, it is the best mobbing build in the game that doesn't use homing stuff. And even then, it competes with homing stuff. It's that bullshit. And does a couple of cool stuff mechanically. So I'm excited to share that, but I need to do a write-up and actually make the video. So I hope I can get that out next week to play around with it on Wednesday. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay safe. Stay awesome. I'll catch you next time.